Well, since the camera's rolling, let's dive more into other topics, shall we? Um, let's talk about love and experiencing heartache and heartbreak and trying to understand that and trying to understand how to overcome that, within yourself. So it's really weird. Um, I think everybody is lonely. Everybody is lonely, and everybody is looking for love and attention and validation. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we have to understand where's this rooted from, and it's probably because they didn't get the those things in their childhood, and so when they grow up and they become adults, they're still seeking this love and attention and validation from everything around them. Because they never got it when they were young and through no fault of their own, and maybe their caretakers didn't know any better either. So we can't blame shift. All we can do is take radical responsibility and accountability for our own behaviors, you know, or not. And then those people normally just kind of go through life never really understanding why they are the way they are, and they go through life never really finding a remedy for their suffering. And I don't know about you guys, but I've spent so much of my life encountering so much suffering that is one of the reasons why I kind of started this channel. Honestly, it was it was like an outlet for my thoughts and my feelings and the insights that I got, so that I could like remedy suffering, so I could understand why things are the way they are, you know. But going back to like why people want love and attention and validation, you know, they probably never got it when they were young. So as an adult, and what are adults? Adults are basically children walking around in more grown bodies. That's all we are. We're like children. Like, think about it, we're like children. It's really funny. Like I've encountered like people who are like, I don't know, in their 40s or 50s, and sometimes when certain situations come up, they'll revert to like the, I don't know, 9 or 10-year-old child within themselves that has been wounded, wounded or abandoned. Like I can see it. It's like, because when we go out in the world and we're adulting, right? We have to like put on a particular persona, like I'm an adult, but we're actually just children in grown-up bodies. That's all it is. And a lot of us, because we've been programmed and conditioned to believe certain things, and we've been programmed and conditioned to be certain ways and to strive for particular things, we've forgotten this child within us. And we've forgotten to, how to feel joy and to have a curious mind and to have an innocent mind and to just look at things with wonder, And I think that's so important. It's so important to keep that child alive. And if that child is hurting, to give it a hug. And that's why if nobody can give you hugs, give yourself hugs. It's funny. I catch myself when I go to sleep at night. I literally am wrapping my own arms around myself and then just kind of like snuggling into a pillow. You know? Anyways, I don't know. I'm going off topic. We're talking about, what were we talking about? Oh, finding love and finding validation and acceptance from others. I think not only that, like experiencing heartbreak and how to heal the heartbreak. So what happens is, because people are seeking, they're lonely. and they're sad and they feel like something's missing. They go outside of themselves to look for something or someone to give them temporary relief from that pain. And it comes in the form of seeking validation, acceptance, love, care, kindness, whatever, you know? Some people even go to the extent of seeking negative attention. Like they don't care if it's negative or positive, they just need attention, you know? What happens with that is you're giving yourself away to others in hopes that you'll get something in return, right? And it's funny, a lot of people are looking for someone else to provide this love and care and attention to them, but a lot of times the people around them don't even know how to do it for themselves. So it's basically asking someone to fill your cup with an empty cup. How are they going to do that? And then getting upset and mad and angry because you expected them to. It's like, how can you expect someone to fill your empty cup with an empty cup? You know, because I feel like a lot of people are probably in the same position where, like, you know, they want love too. They want attention. They want validation. And they're looking outside of themselves too. So all these people are looking outside of themselves, looking for someone to fill their cup. But nobody can fill your cup. You have to fill your cup. And how do you fill your cup? You fill your cup by sitting with yourself, by getting to know yourself, by loving yourself, all parts of yourself, the good, the bad, the sad, the ugly, the beautiful, the dark, the light, everything, just loving everything about yourself. And it's a very uncomfortable process, and it's not for the faint-hearted, because there's a lot of demons that will come up when you decide to sit with yourself. You know, there's a lot of programs and behaviors and patterns and, you know, perceptions that are super distorted that really need your attention. But a lot of people, instead of giving themselves that attention, they're placing their attention everywhere else. You know, because like when you go outside of yourself, you will get a sense of validation, acceptance, and love, but it's very temporary. It's very fleeting, you know, because if you think about things in life, things are changing momentarily. So the scenery is changing momentarily, so you'll get a momentary relief. You know what I mean? So that's why it's like so important to just sit with yourself and give yourself the time, give yourself the attention, give yourself the love, give yourself the validation, give yourself the acceptance, give yourself the care that you have been so desperately seeking outside of yourself. You know, I know, like for me it started with travel. Like I was thinking like, oh, if I travel and I get out there, maybe, you know, I'll find what I'm looking for somewhere out in some foreign country. And although I am thankful for those experiences, because it's definitely opened my eyes and expanded my perception, you know, and helped me to like get out of my comfort zone, you know, I didn't find it there. And then, you know, I thought like maybe through relationships I would find this remedy. But people come and go. People have their own lives to live. People have their own like priorities, you know, and they have their life to live. They have their own journey. And also, like sometimes, like I said, their cup is empty. They're also looking, you know, for someone to fill their cup, so they can't fill your cup, you know. And then I I also spent a lot of time like just reading, like consuming data, trying to understand different religions, different philosophies, you know, all this different information. And even though like there's a lot of good takeaways from doing that, you know, it's like I think you already know, like you can know a lot of things, but if you're not applying them, then it's kind of useless. It's kind of like just having like all this mental stuff around you and all these mental tools around you, but you never take the time to pick up a tool and actually use it and implement it, you know? So yeah, heartbreak. I've come to the conclusion that we're just breaking our own hearts, you know? And then we blame someone else. But the thing is, we invested so much in someone else, right? And we were expecting a return on that. But sometimes people can't return, you know? As much as they want to, sometimes they can't return. They just can't generate it for themselves, let alone you. So it's gotten to a point where it's just like, okay, like I need to just call my power and my energy back. And yeah, I may have invested a lot of time, attention, and you know, I don't know, like just like time and attention. I've probably invested a lot of time and attention to like other people or situations that failed, but they were just showing me the way back to myself, you know? And I feel like every time you go out with an expectation and those expectations are not met because they can't be met, because everything is momentary, you know, it breaks our heart. We get disappointed, we get sad, we get angry, we get mad, and you're just breaking your heart more open. That's how I'd like to see it. You know, like, say, like, you could say, like, maybe your heart was in a seed casing and it needed all these different, like, requirements, or it needed, like, all these different ingredients or elements to actually, like, get it to sprout. You know how, like, when you put a seed in the soil, it needs soil. It also needs water. It needs like constant attention and care, and then eventually it'll like kind of break through the ground, and then it gets the sunlight and the air, and it just kind of grows. I think the same goes with your heart. And when you go through life's experiences, you're just kind of getting different nutrients and elements in order for that seed casing to break open so that it can like come out, and then when that happens, you realize that it was always in you. It was always in you. And then it's funny, like when people get into relationships, like that honeymoon phase, I feel like the reason why we get into the honeymoon phase is because, we are outpouring this love into someone else. And so our perception of that person becomes beautiful through our eyes, because we're the ones viewing it, we're the ones seeing it, right? And then when that wears off and the person like reveals who they truly are, then sometimes we might um, how do I say, misinterpret that as them breaking our heart. But the thing is, no, it's like they have their own life to live, they have their own choices, they have their own responsibilities, they have their own journey, and they just came to give you a key ingredient or a key element to help your heart open more, to break it open more. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm making sense. And I feel like this video has been long, strong, and you're probably bored by now. But guys, the remedy is here. The remedy is in you. The remedy is you. Everything is you. Everything is inside of you. And when you realize that, then you can bloom. And then you can share that with other people who are in need. It's kind of like a tree that like provides shade, and a tree that provides fruits. Yeah, you just need to like take care of yourself more, and it's not selfish. And then you can teach others through your presence on how to be as well, how to find their own remedy. It's not your job to fix or help people or do the job for them. It's not your job to walk their path. It's like they need to do that. And maybe you will become a source of inspiration for them, but that's all you can do. Maybe you can act as a self, or maybe you can be a way shore, or you can hand them the key that they need to access more of themselves. Anyways, I hope you are having a beautiful day, and I'm sorry if I didn't make sense. Blessings to one and all. Amen.